Andersen.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Andersen. Feels like forever since I made a video. I've been under the weather for like almost 2 weeks, it feels like now. Finally feeling somewhat human again, and I need to get working because I'm falling behind with all the projects. Today we need to take care of the rear main seal on M113 for the Mars Red C55. So I'm gonna do the rear main seal and the rear cover, get that off, reseal it, everything. And I think I got a trick to show you guys to make this a little easier for you to do without needing the special like Mercedes tool and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll show you guys what I see right now and what we need to do to get it off. You need to remove the flex plate. So I'll show you guys a cool tool you can use to do that, and then go from there. All right, so first thing I'm starting with the cool tool I wanted to mention. We can get, there we go. This is a tool from KTC, and it's MBZ1044. This is a tool that will hold your flex plate in place. So for anyone planning to do the manual swaps or trying to do this stuff on your own, this is really handy because this is going to grab your flex plate and allow you to undo or fasten the flywheel bolts. So let's get that thing off, or flex plate bolts I should say. So yeah, this will make it a lot easier on you when you're trying to take off or put on your setup. So let's go ahead, get that flex plate off, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so here's what we're working with as far as the flex plate and all that goes. You can tell from looking that this thing is definitely seeping. It's hard to tell if it's the actual cover seal, but it looks like it very possibly could be, so we're just going to take care of it while we're in there. And the rear main seal is definitely leaking. You can see that drippage down there. So I need to get flex plate off like we said. Looks like our tool just barely isn't fitting in right now, so I need to slide our flex plate a little bit to get it to lock in. Show you guys, it's just barely missing the teeth right now, so wiggle that over a little bit and get this thing locked down, and then we'll undo our bolts. Alright, didn't have to do much at all, just by hand, just kind of wiggled it in there and got it to fit. So that is fitted up. You don't need to push it all the way back, you just kind of let it sit where the teeth are flush against the other teeth. And now we should be able to spin these things loose. I believe these are T55s or T50s. I'll double check, I'll let you guys know. Let me go grab my tools. Alright guys, these are in fact T55s. So I'm gonna go ahead, try to get these loosened up real quick. And I guess I'll try my long swiveling ratchet first. Let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, those are tight. Alright, we're going breaker bar just to keep it easy. And if you guys have an impact, that'd probably be the easiest, to be honest, but I don't have one over here. There we go. Alright, pretty easy with the breaker bar. Alright, I'm gonna undo these star pattern. Why not? There we go. So you can imagine, without that tool holding everything, it's a little tricky to get these. With an impact you can do it for sure, but when it comes to putting them back tight again, it's gonna be a little tricky. And my light wants to keep shutting off. There we go. Get this one. Yes. And once you get them undone, pretty much come off by hand. they're all hand loose now. I can't remember if these are torque to yield. I think they are, so if you are doing this, I think you're supposed to replace these bolts. Don't know for sure, I can't remember, but they're good bolts regardless, so keep them for something else if you're not going to reuse them here. I keep literally every bolt I have that I take off the cars because they always seem to come back in handy sometime. Alright, that is off, the spacer can come off, and then the flywheel. This flywheel should just wiggle off too. Sometimes they're a bit stuck, but most times they'll just come off like so. And we are going to reuse this, so don't want to damage this. Keep it safe. And go from there. There it is. I'll show you guys outside. Alright, and there's our very messy rear main seal. Probably original, I would assume. And timing cover. It's hard to tell. This thing had so much oil splashed up at it from the trans failing that some of this could be transmission oil, to be honest, but no point in risking it. I'm just going to take that cover off and reseal it just in case. Alright guys, so first thing I'm doing here is just get all this cleaned up, even like our crank position sensor and that type of stuff. It's all dirty, so I'm just going to get this area all nice and clean and then undo our Torx bolts. Probably E8s I would guess, or E10s maybe. Get all those undone. There's also these long ones down at the bottom that you get through underside here. So get all those taken care of. And then we need to heat this up before trying to pry it apart. So get it real heated up with a heat gun and then slowly start to pry it off, and we'll just get it all off at once. Don't need to worry about getting off the rear main seal by itself. I'll just take it off all at once. Alright guys, I got that a little bit cleaned up. Definitely looks like majority of this is just coming from the rear main seal, but again, not going to risk it. I'm just going to reseal the cover as well. So I got my heat gun right now. I'm going to go ahead and heat up all the edges before I even take the bolts out, just as a little bit of precaution. And then I'll get all the bolts out and heat it again, and then start to undo all that adhesive and get the cover off. Alright, and these bolts are in fact E10s. So go ahead and start loosening these up. And these are not on here tight at all, so don't have to be crazy. And they're all the same size except for those bottom two super long ones at the bottom. And actually, I'm gonna go get my Milwaukee, otherwise it's gonna take forever. One sec. Speed things up. So, note to self when going back in, I don't know what the torque spec is, probably like 10 Newton meters or something like that. Maybe even less, but the adhesive is doing most of the work. So, bolts don't need to be super tight. Alright, there's all of those. And we just got to get our bottom two here. See if my extension will reach. Alright. Those are a little tighter. Okay. Bolts extracted. So now I need something that's going to be gentle enough to pry on the edges here after I get it nice and hot. So let me go grab something and then we'll start making our way around this thing. And there's 2 dowel pins on these sides, so it might come with the cover, it might stay on the engine, but just make sure you don't lose track of those dowels. Alright, check back in a sec. Alright guys, I've been heating up the cover and slowly getting it to pry off, but I did not think this much oil was going to be coming out of here. I didn't drain the oil, just because, I mean, oil should be sitting in the pans, but it is leaking out of here like crazy as I'm going through on this back corner. So I'm going to go ahead and drain the oil, and don't need to show you guys that, but yeah, I'm just going to drain the oil since I'm going to change oil on this thing anyways. Might as well get it out of here because it's making a mess. So check back in a second. Alright guys, after a lot of patience, got the oil drained. We are getting pretty close here. The left side is pretty much free. Just this bottom corner on the right side is a little bit trapped up. Let's see if we can get in there a little bit. There's a lot of areas you can pry pretty well on. Like there's some cavities right here, right here. But the right side is a little more difficult to get into. But there we go. It's just patience. And using all the blood out of your arms if you're upside down like me. There we go. Alright. Got it. Okay, so like I said, trick, get it all out at once. Definitely took some time, mostly just because it's freezing in my garage right now and it took forever to heat up all the silicone on there, and most of that silicone is, I mean, there is not a lot on here, and what is left is very brittle and dry. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tuck a rag into this area down here just so I don't drop a bunch of crud into the pan, because that is open to the pan right here, and start using a little plastic razor blade to scrape all that off, clean it all off, and then we will reapply our silicone. And my plan is to just put our new rear main seal into this cover and slide it on basically. So we will try that out, and fingers crossed. I got 2 just in case, so we'll see. Alright guys, well, that was something I didn't expect, but that thing put up quite a fight. I don't think if I wasn't doing the cover and I was just trying to do the seal, I don't know if there's any way I would have got this out of there in the car, even with, you know, the methods people do, like put a self-tapping screw into there and then, you know, pry it out, whatever, but I don't think it would have worked. It took quite a bit of force and laying this in between these 2 pieces of wood, hammer and screwdrivers to pop this thing out of here. So yeah, anyways, moving past that step now, I need to get everything all cleaned up, and not much of the sealant stayed on this thing at all, pretty much stayed on the engine. So I'll scrape it off with the little plastic razor blades, get everything cleaned up, get ready for our new silicone to be applied, and pop our new seal in, and should be good to go. It's a whole while later now, but I wanted to end this video. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to do a part 2. Was not planning on it, but this piece, let me go ahead and show you what I'm seeing here and why we're gonna wait on this. So this piece, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to pick it up on camera, but it has a lot of like pitting basically, and that is exactly where the rear man seal sits. It's not a lot. Like I could scrub it down in some areas, but there are a couple spots like that right there. It's just not worth it. This part is about $25 to $35. I just ordered one from Mercedes-Benz of Warwick, I think, off Amazon. It'll be here in 2 days for 36 bucks. So it's just not worth it. Like, I got it nice and cleaned up and I was planning to reuse it, but yeah, that just doesn't make me comfortable. And with a job like this where you got to take your whole transmission out and everything, it's just not worth it. So yeah, I guess this will have to be a part 2. We are busy in the land of the Mars Red, guys. Another video this week that we'll be doing is popping off our valve covers and redoing those. I need to order, I keep forgetting, I need to order the SAI blank off plates and the EGR blank off plates. So I'll be doing that. So those can be ready. Creative Steel is going to be sending out a set of engine mounts, so those will be solid. I already have their transmission mount, which we'll throw in. A lot of little things, but I'm trying to get the engine all kind of sealed and ready. So got to drain the oil today. The oil didn't look bad, to be honest, so that was good. And I have everything to R&R that. So yeah, I really wanted to get this done in this video, but hopefully what you guys saw, at least getting everything off, was helpful. There's a couple videos on YouTube, actually some really helpful ones, but I feel like, you know, more the merrier. So hopefully this video can help in that regard, and I'll just make it a part 1 and a part 2. So my plan when I get the new plate back is I'm gonna put my sealant in all the correct areas. I will show you guys the correct designation according to MB spec. And so I'll do that, silicone it, and then I'm gonna have the seal already in there ready to go. So that way I can basically just like sandwich everything down. And the little life hack that Josh shared with me was if you put a little bit of oil on the crank, then it'll allow that inner part of the seal to kind of slide smoothly onto that, and the outer seal will stay put where it's supposed to be. So yeah, that's that. I'm finally feeling better, guys. So I'm gonna get churning again. I basically took like almost 2 weeks off of not touching the cars. Today I finally got to do this, and I put the new tune on the CLK, which you guys will be seeing in another video, and a bunch of other little stuff. So yeah, the garage is looking like this right now, guys. We got the space heaters officially out, and trying to warm ourselves up as best we can, and just trying to get this thing little by little dialed in. Put the new corner markers in. This one was missing on this side, so those are all good to go. $10 pair off eBay, look pretty good, I'm not gonna lie, so happy with those. And someday down the road we'll have everything off for repaint, but we got to get this mechanically sound and all that stuff. So also, Kangaroo's Team sticker looks so good on this car. It like fits perfectly because of the red. Looks dope. So we got our old silver C55 flywheel, our flywheel that came off of this car, and sneak peek for those that have made it to the end of the video. Kangaroo's Team sent out their prototype W203 base plate shifter, and it's so funny because when I threaded the whatever shifter I came up with last time, I made these shift knobs. I have a black and a white one, and I made them to the same thread pattern they're using here, just like by chance. So kind of cool. I get to reuse these again, just for the time being at least. I'm planning on making my C55 stock shift knob into a shifter, but these look super dope, so I'm happy either way. I have the stock C55 shift knob somewhere. Right there. So this one, I'm planning on turning this into a manual shift knob. I'm gonna cut this flat and either fill it with, I don't know, epoxy or something, and then tap and drill it and make it into a manual shift knob. So I think that would be super cool. Put on the proper W203 manual shift plate and the boot and all that, and then make it look really factory. So yeah, previews for you guys. But that said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being patient with me while I was gone, and much love. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.